I will divide myself in two just to meet you. See, a lot of people think that love and hate is the energies that dwell, but in all actuality, it's all about love and judgment, because judgment is what breeds hate. See, everything that we see around ourselves, that we perceive in our reality, is based on the judgments we hold within our hearts. And see, that's why it's so important to learn and embody your dark side. Because the dark side is the part of the self that is in the depths of the sea. It's the part that a lot of times you run from just to keep a certain person or people around you. It's the part of you that you are scared to embrace. It's the part of you that is scared to be judged by another. So you are kind of controlled by fear, right? Because they're one and the same. And see, whenever you start understanding wholeheartedly that everything you perceive is based on what you're holding in your heart as judgment, it's then when you will set the heart free out of that cage of illusions that are mirrors labeled as judgment. Hope that makes sense. You see and perceive what you judge. And until you can love yourself wholeheartedly, so then you love everybody else. When I say wholeheartedly, I mean unconditionally. You will always be locked in the prism or the illusions of judgment. You hold the key as well as the cell. The key and the cell are both one. So when I say, or when the divine, which we are all the divine in different frequencies, in different identities, individuals, right? When we start understanding that the divine splitted itself up to experience itself. See, you will never know yourself wholeheartedly because the self is so deep. It's like the sea. It goes on and on and on. And see, it's like once you accomplish one thing, that part of you that has that conquering mindset, that conquering intention to only want to get better and do more, will always prepare you into the next scene. It will always push you to go further. It's not like you never satisfied. That's not what it is. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is we are all put here to be the best we can be. So it's no such thing as crossing the finish line. It's never done. The work of learning and knowing thyself is never done. It's always so many different aspects of ourselves that we can ponder upon and find. Because like I told my uncle yesterday, the creator, the divine, which we all are within inside, we are the small version of the big. We are the macro of the micro, right? I told him, I said, the micro or the macro, the big God, the Most High, is the great hider. And us as the little God is the seekers. So we're playing hide and go seek to putting ourselves back together again. And see, we all have fell victim to being caught up in the energy and motion at times where we get swept up based on the lesson that's being given. And we got to get to a point where we can shake it off and understand it's a lesson being given so that we don't allow our emotions to get at an uproar, right? And that's not easy to do because this game is so real based on our five senses, which we have more than them, right? More than that. This game is so realistic that we allow the external to control our internal at times, a lot of times. But the goal is to flip the script. Don't allow the external to control how you move within, because it'll always be a back and forth then. You know what I mean? You got to see something outside yourself for you to feel good inside yourself. And then when you don't see it, you don't feel good. And then the outside changes based on the inside. No, we need to always feel good within based on whatever work we're doing to better ourselves every day. Because evolution is key. And it's never done. So the gateway, or that narrow path, will be the path to always learning, always growing, always doing more for your mental, your physical, your spiritual, and your emotional bodies. And as long as you're doing that, nothing outside you dictates that equalizer within ourselves on moving up and down. We should be able to find a neutral place where we know our temperature, we know our vibe, and nothing outside us can knock it off its mark. And then from there, you start to elevate through any storm, rain, sleet, or storm, or snow, I mean. You know what I'm saying? And that takes time, family. We can't look to do what Dick, Jane, and Harry doing over there just because we see it. A lot of things we put in front of us to only help us move forward, as well as things we put in front of us to keep us stagnant and have us fall back, right? It's either you growing or you dying, right? So, you know, you got people like Trump right now that's talking about basically we all had enough time to understand how to do business and how to do all this and that. And I told my father, at the end of the day, I don't vote. I don't do none of that, because I really believe that it's all about you learning to manage yourself, and then you can know how to operate within the environments around you. And I told him, I said, you know, Trump is a businessman, but you got to understand our Father, God, the divine, the mother and father, is both, they business. It's about business. That's why they take a man and a woman and make a child. It's always to add and multiply. You know, only time we divide is in order to help multiply. Sometimes we take a loss to get a bigger win. Sometimes we take the righteous path, although in the reality or in the world it may look like the wrong path. Because righteousness don't mean you're always right in the worldly people's eyes. Righteousness, like I told him, and I'm going to tell you guys today, righteousness is stepping into your heart and doing what you love to do. Just because other people don't agree with you don't make it wrong. If your heart is there, then that's the path you need to take, no matter what type of hurdles you need to jump over to get there. You need to make it happen. You need to make sure that the people that are around you are only there to help you get there, not slow you down. It's no in between, family. And we got to stop giving people the benefit of the doubt, or you know how a lot of times you can see the good in a person and they can't see it in themselves. So we allow that to keep us holding them in our life. Let me tell you something, man. Look, this lifetime right here goes by so quick. You need to make every move and make sure every person you put in your life is helping you get to the next step, and vice versa. It's supposed to be each one teach one. You give this to the table, I give this to the table. You give this to the idea, I give that to the idea. I know where my strength's at when it comes down to what we're doing, and I know where your strength's at, as well as you know, and then we both bring our strengths and we make something new. That's what we're supposed to do, family. It don't supposed to be no one person bringing all of it to the table. It don't supposed to be no one person being the teacher in the relationship. Me and my wife just been looking at something last night about that. If you the teacher on every aspect of your relationship, you are never getting nothing pulled back in your cup. So sooner or later, you're going to run dry. And you can't give what you don't got. That's why in the water relationship, it's always a give and take, a ebb and flow, right? It's like sowing, family, you know? So that's the message. I divided myself just to see you. That's how much I love me. And that's how much I love you. Right? One love, family. Welcome to the game, because a lot of us take life too serious and we miss what's really going on. And some of us, we don't take life serious enough. We don't love ourselves enough to move the right way or the proper way or the way of growth. Let's say it like that. All right? But it's time for us to step in play, kings and queens, gods and goddesses. It's time to come out of amnesia, family, and embrace everything that is for you. And that's the world. You know, God only gives us what we can handle. He's a gentleman. I'm only going to give you what you're ready for. I'm not trying to scare you. I'm not trying to make you run away. I'm here to embrace you. You show me you ready, I give it to you. It's that simple. No more separation, family. One love.